Become a cultural icon around the world, a champion who overcame great adversity. We take a closer look at Mexican artist Frida Kahlo.
It's a face that's recognizable worldwide, the captivating look and the eyebrows that turn heads. Frida Kahlo's image is symbolic of a strong woman whose self-portraits are some of Mexico's national treasures.
The more you study her, the more you realize how everything about her was symbolic.
And for the last few months, that symbolism drew at least 100,000 people to Illinois' College of DuPage.
In 3 months, from around the world in a pandemic.
All for a chance to walk along the walls that line her work. Overseeing that collection, Diana Martinez. She spent the last 4 years studying every piece of Kahlo.
She was very bright. She read and wrote in English, German, Spanish, French. She was very well read. I think Frida was so ahead of her time, you know, in terms of women's rights and believing in yourself.
She says Frida may be today's original selfie queen, but her work goes back to the 20s and 30s.
She was doing hand-painted selfies in her most vulnerable moments. And she showed herself when she miscarried a child. She showed herself suffering after a surgery that went wrong. She showed her pain.
That pain meant 30 surgeries, a major accident at the age of 18, and a battle with polio as a child. It's those stories of survival and resilience that have resonated with generations, a cultural icon in her home country and abroad.
My bucket list is to really see as many Frida works as I can.
I think it's her style that really draws people to it, because her self-portraits are just so stunning that it's hard not to be drawn to them.
Which is why in Chicago's Pilsen community, the National Museum of Mexican Art is prepping for a Frida exhibit of its own next year.
The public cannot get enough of Frida. One of the exhibitions is traveling from her home museum, Casa Azul, in Mexico City. They're photographs that she collected throughout her life.
With so much Illinois love for Frida, here's a question that many are trying to answer. Did Frida Kahlo ever make a stop in Chicago?
We suspect that at some point before she got to Detroit, they got off that train at the major hub known as Chicago, and perhaps they spent a night or two here.
They loved to travel. Frida loved to go visit and go see. So there's no question in my mind that she made it to Chicago.
But there's no tangible proof of that, though. We know her husband, Diego Rivera, painted 27 murals at the Detroit Art Institute back in 1932, and Frida was with him. In that time, they struck up a friendship with dance legend and Illinois native Katherine Dunham.
She is like the grandmother of African dance, right? She lived in Glen Ellen. She was born in Glen Ellen, the town that is here. And when we figured that huge string out, we were like, are you kidding that they were friends and they met?
It's those tiny clues that continue to add on to the Frida Kahlo story, a Mexican icon transcending generations and borders.
I think in this time after the pandemic and what our country's gone through, she's just a great inspiration to keep moving forward.